What's up everybody, Jason Boone here from PremiumBeat.com. Today I'm going to show you how you can customize some of the display options in the composition panel in Adobe After Effects. So let's get started. The first time I ever opened up Adobe After Effects, it was quite intimidating to look at the interface of the program. And it's just what you'd expect from such a powerful visual effects software application. You have a ton of different options here to work with and tools to work with. If you look down in the composition panel alone, you have just a number of switches, buttons, drop-down menus, a plethora of options with which to create incredible motion graphics with. So what I want to show you how to do is to customize the display options within the composition panel here to make your workflow a bit more easy. Because if you look right now, with all these options open on our comp panel, we're seeing such a small area of our timeline. So let's take a look at how we can customize these displays. So there's two main reasons I want to adjust the display options of my comp panel. The first is, for this particular project, I'm just working with keyframes. That's all I'm doing for this section. I'm just keyframing the scale and position options of this map graphic. So all I need out of all of these tool sets is just tools related to keyframing. The second reason I want to adjust the display options is to give myself more real estate or more space so I can see my keyframes. Right now this is not a lot of space, and it's particularly not a lot of space because I'm working on a 15-inch MacBook Pro laptop. So now to adjust our display options here, I'm going to go to the panel menu. So to click this button right here, now I'm in the panel menu settings drop-down menu, and there's a section called columns. Now if we look here, there's 12 or 13 options here, and if you look, these are all relating to these here. These are all columns on our comp panel. So, and they're all selected right now. So what we can do is we can begin to turn these off. And if you look here, we have columns for all kinds of different tools. We have audio video features such as the solo button. We can turn off audio or video individually. We can lock the layer. We have labeling options, the layer number. We can put comments. So all we really want to use are the keys here. We want this and maybe the layer name. So I'm going to start to turn these off and watch what happens. I'm going to turn off stretch. You can see stretches down here. When I click and deselect this, it's just going to get rid of that column. So now I can go through and I can keep clicking on these columns to remove them. But a much faster way is I can just mouse over one of the columns and then right click or control click and select hide this. Now I can go through and quickly customize, and you see it's starting to expand, give us more space here. So here's keys. I want to leave that. I'm going to go to parent, hide this, hide track mat, hide our switches. And again, depending on your workflow, what you're working on, you can customize your displays appropriately. And you know, I don't even need to see these AV features or the label or the layer number. So there we go. We have edited our columns to make our comp show just what we want. Now if I go to position, I can add a few keyframes, and you can see here we can control our keyframes with this column here. In addition to columns, there's a few more special modifications I can make to help me with my keyframing workflow with the displays in the comp panel here. So if I go back to my panel menu, you can show cache indicators here. You can see where it says show cache indicators, which we definitely want when we're keyframing, so that's selected. This is basically this indicator bar here. So if I turn this off, you won't be able to see this, our preview here. So I'm going to turn that back on. And we can also change from keyframe icons to using keyframe indices. So what is this? If I select keyframe indices, it's going to change this to a numerical chronological order here. And if we're working with a lot of keyframes, this can be very good. Say we're working with another editor or a client, we can quickly reference, you know, if we're on a phone call, we can say go to frame or go to keyframe 39 and we'll change this to that, whatever the case may be. And there's also quite a few display options here that you can adjust. You can do draft, 3D, live update. You can even access the flowcharts here if you're working in a very project with a lot of pre-comps or nest. So a lot you can customize here. And the last display option I'm going to show you for working in a keyframe workflow here is the timecode display. So let's say I want to change this to something that's more friendly with keyframes. I can go over here, hold the command key, click, and now we can view our comp panel in frames, which is very helpful. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and be sure to check out PremiumBeat for high quality, royalty-free music and sound effects for all of your media and video projects.